She is also a work at home expert. Like if you need to work at home, she does these work at home Wednesdays and tells you how you can find work from home and all this stuff. If you know, are there scams out there? She'll tell you if there's scams or not scams. She'll give you places that I didn't even think about to look for opportunities to work at home. So I'm so happy that we have her here in the building, Miss Teresa Wright Johnson. Woo, woo.
Thank you. And thank you for going with my long name. I just had someone do a flyer to speak somewhere else, and she just had that one name. So it is me. I'm Teresa Wright Johnson, and I am a multiple operational manager. I'm a mom first, and then I'm a multipreneur. And we are going to talk about three things. So first, we're going to talk about parenting through this pandemic and coping skills. Then we're going to move into ways to make money from home or on your own. And then we're going to wrap up and talk about how not to get virtually burned out. Because like Tara was saying a minute ago, she was like, some of us that are extroverts are going crazy because they can't get out. I'm an extrovert, y'all, but I'm not going crazy because I have so many things to do. You keep yourself busy, what? You're good. So we're going to talk about that too. Like, what's too busy? So we're going to talk about three things, but we're going to dive in first about parenting through this pandemic. I'm going to talk about 4 P's of parenting through this pandemic. And one thing that we're all learning is patience. First P is patience. We have to have patience with this situation because this is not something we've been through before in our many generations, especially us that are, adults, middle-aged adults and young adults, and then our children. Not only do we have to have patience, we also have to realize we have to have patience for ourselves, adjusting, and parenting our children and teaching our children patience. Why is this? We're in the house. We're in our homes more than ever. Most of us, to be honest, a lot of my teacher friends are saying this, and I am a former teacher, a former daycare owner, and a former nanny. And I can be honest, a lot of parents don't spend this amount of quality time with their children. So they are not aware of what their children are like sometimes on a day-to-day basis outside of in the morning, getting your children ready, having them in the evening after school and on weekends. Also, they may not be used to being at home with their children. So in order to cope, your first coping skill is developing patience. That's not something we're all born with. As a parenting expert, I know that I was not born with that. I don't have a lot of patience a lot of times, and I have to do several things to help me with that. So number one, with your children having patience, just slow down some. Slow down some. Slow down to kind of get to know them at home. What school looks like to them here virtually is different than they've ever known, and it's different for you. Have patience with them with the work assignments. A lot of them are not getting direct instruction from their teachers. I had a friend today that I was talking to, and she said her daughter asked her throughout the day, are you mommy right now or teacher mommy? Are you mommy or teacher mommy? So have patience with yourself too, because you may not have the skill of teaching. Everybody is not innate or have the gift of teaching. But with your children, have patience with them. Give them time. Make sure you start to get to learn your child's learning style. Where your child might be a learner that is a child that's hands-on. Your child might be a child that likes to read. Your child may have a delay or have a different ability where you might have a child, one of my children is accelerated, yet that child also experiences ADHD. So you have to have patience for that. But most of all, have patience with yourself. And when you're talking about this patience, we also need to talk about how patience and planning go together. Did you have any questions, Tara? No? Okay. So patience.
No, you're doing good, but I think that's very important. Sometimes we lack the patience of ourselves and get frustrated with everyone else. So I do agree with you that patience for yourself first and then everyone else. It's like an oxygen mask on. Sometimes you have to make sure that you're being patient with yourself so that you can be patient with others.
And not only that, thinking about patience also means slowing yourself down. Sometimes we're like automatically reacting. So I was talking to a parent the other day, and she was saying that some parents This isn't me because we have this virus going on, okay? But some parents are actually helping parent or teach other people's children because some parents still have to go to work. And so this particular parent was telling me that her children were there with her, and she's an extraordinary parent. Children are in all these activities, they get good, great grades, but with some other children there, and she was very patient with them, and her children were watching her, and they're like, "You're not that patient with me." So make sure that you're understanding that maybe you need to slow down and be a little bit more patient with your children now, because the other thing is this emotionally is very draining for all of us. But for children, the transition, the change, you're talking about extroverts going crazy that they can't go outside. I have plenty of friends, clients, and peers that I'm working with that are having a hard time explaining to a child they can't go outside. I'm going to give you an example. My daughter is 14. And she called me last week. Last week. She was at her dad's for the weekend. And she said, "I want to go to the park. Me and my friends want to go to the park and hang out or go over someone's house." And I had to explain to her at 14, like, this is why you cannot go. So have patience there with even explaining. And that moves me into our next P. And the next P is planning. If you have a schedule of some sort, it's easier to conduct your day and plan for your day and have patience. So I'm not telling you to have a schedule that's very rigid. It's up to you. You know your children, you know your lifestyle, right? You know what you need, but your children still need some sort of routine. So you do need to plan. Not only do you need to plan their day and their schedule, you need to plan yours. We're DUALpreneurs, most of us. If I can't figure out what time this morning I was logged into work, if I can't figure out what time I need to work, as well as check and see what my daughter's studies are, every day I'm going to be confused on what to do. She's going to be confused on what to do. And routine is important to children as well as for us. So make sure you plan. You need to plan. One other thing to plan about, a lot of parents are not used to something Tara was joking about earlier. Your kids are at school, you might have packed them a lunch, they're gone, or they're eating lunch at school. Some of them are eating lunch, snacks, whatever. Plan your meals. I was talking to a parent a few days ago, and she was like, "These kids about to eat me out of house and home." I said, well, you need to delegate, and you need to tell them what they can have and what they can't have. We need to go back to basic parenting. How many of y'all remember we had to be told what we could eat? We knew what our meals were. We couldn't just go in the refrigerator and get whatever we wanted. We had to eat what we were given. It needs to go back to the basics. We are in a situation of crisis right now. We cannot act like it's ordinary. Where did I go? I went to the store yesterday to get something, and there was no more meat in that area. Luckily, I have meat. But if your children are eating like they always ate before, you're not teaching them how to plan, and you're not planning correctly, because right now we're not in an ordinary day. So plan meals. I was talking to a mom this morning. How many of us remember our moms, our grandmoms, they could take a pack of ground beef or chicken and make 2 meals out of? I think I do. So I was talking to a mom today, and she was telling me about, cooking. Make sure you're planning your food. Not only are you planning your food this way, your children have a routine. Hopefully you're creating a nutritious meal, and you're saving money. Guess what? We need to save money right now, because how many of us in a minute, when I start talking about work at home opportunities, need more money? So planning. The other thing, just to be honest, to talk about in planning is talking to your children about what is really happening right now. It's very scary for us. It's very scary for them. But enabling yourself to cope means dealing with situations. And your children are watching you. They can see if you're stressed out. They can see if something's going on. If you're able to talk to them in an age-appropriate way about what's going on, it'll be great. It'll be great. So you can just look up online, Google, I'm talking to my children about COVID-19 age appropriate. You can follow one of our pages with Mom Biz Boss. We have a lot of references, resources there, but it's a lot of stuff that you can talk to your kids about. And that's very important, because they need to know what's going on. Because let's hope none of us, and pray none of us, get ill. But if we did, they would know. going to give you another part of planning. If you have older children, it's time to talk to them about things that are important, like money, right? Like money or what should happen. I was talking to my daughter the other day, and I was telling her about life insurance and how everything's set up but it was in a kid-friendly way. But that's the time we're at right now. Remember, my topic right now is planning and parenting through a pandemic, not just parenting. We are in a crisis, so we have to step up our game. And parenting means we're raising little individuals that one day will be adults. We have to give them life skills. This crisis is going to give more parents the opportunity to draw back to basic parenting, connect and reconnect with their children and family, and put those basic skills in. I was looking at something online the other day, and it said this: a kid, they're an adult. They're an adult now. Let's say they're in their 30s. They're going to say, I remember when I was in middle school, I had the best summer ever, or interesting summer. I actually spent time with my family. We ate dinner at home. We watched movies. We talked to our family. So there are some good things that are happening here too. And those things are reconnecting with your family. Okay? So that's what I really want to tell you about planning. Make sure you're planning times to reconnect as well. Did you have any questions or input there?
No, we're good. That was very detailed, especially the fact that we have more time now to have conversations with our kids. This is the time to have the conversation with the kids, talking about money, why we have to cut back, show them a budget, help them create a budget, learn together. So even if there's some things you don't know, for example, if you don't know anything about investing, this is a great time to learn investing. And I'll give you a quick tip. You can do a scavenger hunt for investing. You go around the house, see what you spend the most on. For example, if you buy lots of toilet paper, okay, you want to find out who the maker or the company is for the toilet paper. See if they're on the New York Stock Exchange, or they are a public market, on the public market. If they are, then you can start doing some research. Look at their stocks, see what direction their stock's going. And, their stock may be going up while everything else is going down. So there's different apps that you all can do and say, how much are we going to invest together as a family? What are we going to invest in? Maybe you take this time to do research with your children so that you all can save up some money to invest together later when you have some more cash. So this is a great opportunity to involve kids in certain conversations. Maybe you need to sit down and have that conversation with your teenager about sex. Maybe you need to talk to them about abuse and avoiding abuse and what that looks like. Maybe there's some crucial conversations you need to have with your children that under normal circumstances you may not have the time, or the kids may be focused on or out doing some other things. You have an audience right now, and they want something to talk about, even maybe difficult to talk about it. It's good to get it out now so that you can heal, or they can learn, or you can do something positive with it later.
Right. And that's additional information. I know we're talking about coping, but that's really good because you're teaching them skills and things they might need have to cope with in the future. Like you were talking about sex or learning. I know one of our mom biz bosses today was telling me she was teaching her son about stocks and how to invest, because she wants him to know how to make money outside of just working for individuals. Because look at where we are today. I can imagine if I only had my one income, how I would feel right now, seeing that the contract or the work that I do has just been cut in half if I didn't have anything else. And so I think those conversations are great conversations to have. Thank you so much for that, especially that treasure hunt. That sounds great. So I'll remember to look at the replay of this so I can tell some families about that, because that's something else that we're going to touch on. And that was the last thing. But the last thing before I get to that is prioritizing. Before I get to our last piece, prioritizing what's important. What's important right now. So I know I have Keisha on here, and Lakeisha's going to do something for us for Mom Biz Boss. And I told her she wanted to talk about homeschool. I said, can you talk about organizing your house and your house being a certain way and being okay with it right now? Because guess what? The kids are at home. No, it's not going to be perfect. They may not make their bed every day. Maybe they do. But maybe your whole dining room now is the classroom. Maybe your kitchen is the cafeteria. Maybe, Your regular schedule has to be changed some. Maybe everything isn't perfect. So what really matters right now? Remember, we're in a different time right now. Prioritize. Also, prioritizing may mean, if you have the opportunity, maybe that you can work at home some, or maybe you can find someone to help you with your children. What's important? Is money important right now to you? You might need money, but if you're a dualpreneur, right, you might have extra ways to make money. So, for instance, for me, my health is important to me. So I went to work. I see they're saying you have to be here because it is an essential job. And I said, well, that's great, but I need to make sure my health is great as well. So being able to work at home part-time versus being able to work into an office with a little bit more hours, I take my health first. So we have to prioritize. Another thing we might need to prioritize with as business owners, as mothers, looking at those bills, looking at those subscriptions, looking at our budgets, thinking about couponing, thinking about saving. This is not the time. I'm talking to a lot of women. I'm seeing a lot of women posting, talking about they're having a great time shopping. I know we're business owners and we need people to shop with us. But honestly, we need to shop, but we need to prioritize. What things do we need? What things are necessity? What things are wants? Something else we need to teach our children too, wants and necessity, wants and needs. So we need to prioritize what's important. And it might even be down to the fact of, I think I was doing a Instacart the other day. And I was like, oh, I want to make nachos. So I was like, I'm going to get these Doritos for nachos. And then I saw these cheaper branded chips. I was like, I don't really want those, But I did end up getting the Doritos because guess what? I found a coupon or something like a 5 for 5 or 10 for 10 or whatever. I don't know what it was. But you have to prioritize. So that's important. And also, what really matters. Maybe your children are a little bit more hyped and wound up right now emotionally. Who wouldn't be? Who wouldn't be? So giving them space, allowing them to be who they are, not disrespectful, but does it really matter? Okay? Does it really matter that they do everything perfect right now? Because I can guarantee you, most of us are not doing everything perfect right now. So prioritizing what really matters. And you can even sit down as a family and talk about, hey guys, what are some things right now that really matter to you in regards to our family? That's something you might want to think about too. Having some family meetings, taking it back to the basics. Because you know what? One of the things I remember as a child is my dad, he was a very, I would say frugal guy, but he had stuff. Just honestly, he had stuff. And he used to teach us, he was a teacher, so he would teach us how to make a grocery list. And I paid attention to that. But one of my siblings said that's how he learned how to budget. He said, you know what, Teresa, the way that I am so successful, I remember when Daddy taught me this, and it was prioritizing. So, in having meetings, because we want our children to be dualpreneurs, CEOs like us one day. If you're teaching them how to manage money, how to prioritize, how to meet, it becomes a natural skill. I know it has for me and many of us. We need to go back to that. So teach them about prioritizing. Also, as business owners, you have to do it every day. You might have to cut an expense. It might be a business need you have. I just recently had to do some things differently with my business that I decided, hey, I need this, I don't need this. You got to prioritize, okay? Because at the end of the day, we want to all still be standing healthy, strong within our nature and our business and family. Yes.
So the one thing that I really love that you said about that is prioritizing, especially some of the subscriptions. I'm telling everybody right now, during this time when you don't have income coming in, you have to stop the automatic subscriptions or things going out. So you got to pause them, stop them, or reevaluate if they're a necessity. And sometimes when we have money coming in, we have those subscriptions going out that we forgot about, that we, $10 here a month doesn't really have an impact, but $10 a month, $120 a year could have a major impact on your bank account right now, or even $99 a month. We had this, funneling system that we were really going to start doing, but we never really done anything with, but we're still paying the $99 a month. That's $1,200 a year. So those are things you want to reevaluate. If you're not using them right now, pause it or stop it. And then when you're ready to use it, that's when you can start again. But this is the time to look at your accounts, especially your bank account, see what's automatically coming out and pausing them or stopping those direct debits and reevaluating if that's something that you really need right now. It could be something that you're doing, but right now is not a good time. So you need to pause it because you have to shift or pivot your business. It could be something where it required you to do something where it required people or whatever. But for example, a membership of a club, you know what I'm saying? If they're not providing any virtual services for you and it required you to go to the club, you might want to see if you can pause the membership right now. I know they need to stay in business, but if it's over $100 or whatever and you're not getting money coming in, that you're going to have to prioritize if that's the thing to do and see if you can re-up the membership at another time. But those certain things, I love what you said about that. Thank you for bringing that up.
Thank you. And I'm looking down at my phone. My daughter is actually with my ex-husband. I see they were both calling me, so I was trying to make sure my child was okay. But I love what you said about prioritizing. My husband and I today were eating, having lunch, because we're both working at home right now. And he said, "What is this?" And he was saying it was one of the memberships we have. And a lot of companies are offering right now even to pause your memberships or give you credits. So look at that. So it was a particular company we're with, and it's called MWeGo. It's a really great company. It's like events. They give you event tickets and all this stuff. And I said, I thought they were going to pause our membership. And no, they didn't pause it. But when I looked at their stuff, they said, "Hey, do you want to pause it?" So yeah, if you can't use it, why pay for it? If you can't use it, why pay for it? The other thing with that is, I love what she said too, is like looking through your subscriptions, because a lot of times we just sign up for stuff and it's Google Pay, this, that, and other. It's just coming out everywhere and your account is just shifting and sifting it out everywhere. Make sure you're prioritizing with your time, your money, your energy, and your life. And the last P was just playing again with your children, playing again in life, having fun. If you're an introvert, yeah, you might not like being in the house, but remember the things that are pleasurable to you and how to play. And do the same thing for your children. And find out what gives your children pleasure. What you think they might like might not be what they like, okay? So if your child is great at art, go play in some paint with them. Let them paint, or you paint together. If your child likes acting or drama, figure out how to do a skit, a drama skit, or let them do a play for you. If your child likes to dance, dance on TikTok with them. Get on TikTok, dance with them. Or my daughter likes to show me her videos. Play again. This is opportunity for us to connect with our children, connect with our families, and guess what? Connect with ourselves. Because the one thing the extrovert does have is we're always out busy, 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 busy. And sometimes you're not connecting with yourself. I definitely am an extrovert, but I got real introvert tendencies. But my introvert friends, they're thinkers. And I'm not saying we're not, because we're very intelligent as well, but they're always thinking. And sometimes when you're so busy, you don't have time to think. And sometimes through play and reconnecting, you really get to connect with yourself, connect with your children, and you're playing again. And our children deserve to see us have fun sometime. They also deserve to find out what gives us joy, what gives us pleasure, and they deserve to be able to share that with us as well. So those are my 4 Ps for parenting through this pandemic.
I have another thing to add. So my son, he's 24. But one of the things that we still love to do together when we can see each other is we go to the movies, right? That's our thing. We go to the movies and we hang out because I love movies. I'm a movie buff. He loves movies. That's how we bond. And because he's an hour away and I can't go see him because we are both quarantined or, in the house, I love the fact that Netflix has an opportunity to share the video, and Teresa told me about that, and I figured out how to do it. So that way we can plan a day or a time to watch a movie together, and it has a chat feature in there, and we can talk. And that's a great way to do a movie get together with some friends, some business friends. For example, she did one to watch the new movie that came out about Madam C.J. Walker. And it was a great dialogue about the business tips, that were given in there. So you can do that with family members. You can do that with the kids. And sometimes your kids are in a place and you need to have your alone place because you need to separate sometimes, let them do it. Even though you may want to watch TV, they can watch it in their room. You watch it in your room because you need to woosah, but you still have an opportunity to watch it together. That's just another way to do that. But I do encourage, if you like movies, to have a movie night. You know, those days when we had movie nights, we had game nights and all of those. Now we can relatively, not we, y'all can relatively do that every night now. But you know, have that as a bonus, that if you all do this, you do your chores, we'll do a special movie night with popcorn and pizza and all of that stuff. Make it an incentive, make it something that they're excited to do. If they do their homework and if they finish it up and they do all that, then we'll do something great. So you're going to have a reward system, because if you do it on a regular basis, they're just going to think that's the norm and that's what they are entitled to. No, those fun things are things of reward. So when they do what they're supposed to do, they get rewarded with the things they want.
Right, thanks. And that's a great coping strategy too, because then you're able to give them, if you do this, you get this. The only thing with giving rewards, you want to have a balance of giving rewards, because certain things they should not get rewards for, or we don't get rewarded for. Like sometimes some parents don't believe, some parents don't believe in paying for chores. It just depends on your parenting philosophy. But I love the movie night. My daughter and I have used some of those things because I'm a divorced mom, and so I have joint custody with my ex-husband. And sometimes I'm like, hey, you want to watch a movie together? So when that Netflix party came out, it was a perfect thing for us. Or because we're in the virtual mode too, let's remember that some of our children are forgetting and missing their friends. Figuring out ways so that they can connect with their friends. Social and peer interaction is very important for our children, even though we don't think it is sometimes, just because they're always on technology, they do miss each other. So for example, I know for Mom Biz Boss next week, we're having a virtual karaoke party for our members. And so it's something they could do. They could have a virtual party. You know, who didn't see DJ Nice, right? Is that his name? Right, DJ Nice doing the party. Or I'm here in Metro Atlanta, and Saturday night, the old school party that I'd go to every so often, every few months, was virtual. You could join it. So it's the same thing, giving them a chance to play and have fun too, like Tara said, away from us, and us to have fun as well. So I think that's a great thing. So I'm going to move on, if you don't mind, Tara, onto ways to make money from home. Please listen closely for this information. If you want more information, you can always contact me and I'll give you that information. But right now, how many of us could use extra money? How many of us maybe don't have a full-time job? Maybe some of us, unfortunately, are laid off. And maybe some of us are like, I talked to a lady this morning, she has a job, she has a business. She said, but I don't know what's going to happen. So this sister just got a job with Amazon online at home to make some money while she's stuck in the house, okay? So there are lots of companies, but the main companies right now that are really doing big and people are getting good tips are delivery companies. I know some of y'all don't want to hear it. Y'all don't want to hear it, but delivery jobs, and I have a list. So we have like Instacart. I know you've been hearing through some things about Instacart and some of these companies, but what works for you may not work for others, and vice versa. And also we know that COVID-19 is a real virus, but I'm gonna give you an example. The other night, I was sitting watching TV. I happened to look out the window. I saw my husband looking out, and I said, what are you laughing at? What's so funny? He said, man, our neighbors, I guess it was an Uber Eats or somebody, DoorDash, apparently, by the way this guy act. He said that the guy ran to the door, dropped the food off on the porch, and ran. He said he was fully covered in a mask and gloves. But guess what? He got paid. He's out. He's social distancing, he's protecting himself, and he has some income coming in. And guess what? He also has some write-offs coming in as well. So, you know, you can't beat that. The other day, I was really in the mode I needed to go grocery shopping. I don't want to go into the grocery store, to be honest, guys. So I decided I was going to do Kroger. Kroger has click lists where you can just drive up and people put the food in your car. I thought I could do that. But I did. I bought everything, ordered it, paid for it, and it hit delivery. That was Friday. So I'm thinking, I can get it later on today or tomorrow at the most. Their next drive up time was Wednesday. I would have been just picking up my food today. But then it said, you can have it delivered. So I clicked deliver, and it was Instacart. And it was really cool because the young lady that I got, I asked her something about, her app or something, because it said that she has gotten paid a tip. And I was like, I'll just give her another tip, whatever. And we were talking, and she said it was her first day doing the job. She said she had got hired within the last 2 days. Took her 2 days to get a job. Okay. Because right now, supply and demand, just like me, many people don't want to go out to get their food, or they can't go sit in a restaurant. So think about that. So you have companies such as Uber Eats, Grubhub, DoorDash, Instacart, Postmate, Shipt, and one I was talking to a friend about the other day, Roadie. Sounds funny, right? Roadie is just like Amazon Prime. You contract your lovely self out, and then you go and drop off stuff and pick up stuff from people. It's mostly drop off from what I'm understanding. But again, if you're worried about COVID-19, protect yourself like that guy. I mean, I really wish I would have seen him so I could take a picture of him for some advertising. So just thinking of those things, those are some things that you can do, in the delivery mode. Some other things you might want to think about are jobs. There are websites such as flexjobs.com where they are posted remote jobs. I suggest when you look through these websites that you kind of go and look up the companies that are posted there as well. I failed to say that I have been teaching people about work at home opportunities probably now for about at least 14 years, because my daughter's 14. I've trained over 500 people at this time, versus through various ways. One, just on the phone, webinars, but also for agencies like social service agencies, disability agencies. As a matter of fact, someone reached out to me today for an agency, let's say in the island area, and they were saying that they wanted to see if we could be possibly train their employees on work at home opportunities, because they want to be able to equip their employees with resources to help other people. So it's so many ways to make money, and I just know that they are because I've used some of these myself, and I've helped hundreds of other people do the same. So Flex Jobs is one of them, but another one that I just found recently was FreeUp.com, and it's a platform for free. No, I'm sure it's a platform really for people that outsource themselves, freelancers. So FreeUp.com. And then this one was really interesting because a lot of work at home jobs, you have to be a contractor or independent contractor or do a little work here and there. This one is called Boldly, like the word bold, boldly, boldly.com. They actually hire individuals for part-time and full-time jobs that are real W-2 based jobs. So check out some of those. The other thing I will always tell you to do, people ask me all the time, how do you find all these work at home jobs? Well, I remember being a mom on bed rest, carrying one of my children at that time, and I did research. Use your noggin. This is a perfect time right now to research and learn and invest in your self-knowledge to help yourself and your family and perhaps others or clients or whoever. So I do a lot of research. Make sure you research the companies. Read what's going on. Make sure you're finding out if these are scams. Like Tara was saying earlier, some companies are scams. You have to be really in the know. So the reference I used for this was Forbes magazine, right? I knew they were real things. Okay, so go and look for real opportunities to work at home. Last one I want to tell you about is remote.co. So remote.co. It's a company for remote jobs as well, and you can check them out anytime you have opportunity. Did anybody have any questions about that, any of that work at home? So the other thing you can always do is use your intellectual property. Today, I was thinking about, as a DUALpreneur, what do I have? What service do I have or business do I have that I can offer now that people will buy? Think about that. What is the need? And one I realized was I have a certification program. Knowledge. People need to start equipping themselves with more information so they'll be marketable. Maybe you have something where, oh, we had a mom biz boss. She's making masks. She's overwhelmed in orders. She texted me earlier, was like, hey, let me get your mask to you. Mask, guys. a few dollars it takes to do that. You have to use what you have as well. It doesn't always mean you're working for somebody. It might be taking your intellectual property and monetizing it. But these are some great places to start. If you want more information about that, you can visit me at my website at twjme.com. That's like for Teresa Wright Johnson, multipleenterprises.com. So it's twjme.com. I have an ebook that you can buy. It's very affordable. That's another need right now. It's called Making Money Out the Box. You can go on my website, click on it. I have a deal. You can buy it today. I have a recording of a program as well for Making Money Out the Box, and we can help you as well with that. You get the ebook and the recording, all for a wonderful price just for you, and have that knowledge.
Great. Can you repeat that first website that you mentioned before?
Which one? Flex Jobs?
Gloria, she asked a question. Gloria, go ahead and ask your question. Sorry.
But I think that's what it was. It was Flex Jobs. I didn't hear the whole word. Okay, I got it now. Thank you.
Flex Jobs, no problem.
It's Flex Jobs.
Okay. And it's flexjobs.com?
It is, flexjobs.com.
Awesome.
So the ones, just to go over those, I told you about flexjobs.com, freeup.com, boldly.com, and remote co, and that's REMOT.co. There are hundreds of companies that employ people right now. Quite honestly, Amazon, they're hiring from home right now. I have a good friend and a mom biz boss again, and I'll tell you about that later, but that works for Amazon and posted and sent me information that Amazon was hiring like 3 weeks ago, and they're still hiring. Why? Because supply and demand. People are ordering things. So make sure that you're looking at what can you offer right now that people want and who needs help. Also, one of the other things I wanted to mention was, I know a lot of people don't want to work in a store, but I know Kroger was hiring, and not for one-on-one, face-to-face. They called it an e-commerce rep. It was the people just pulling stuff off the shelves. So that's another thing. It just depends on your comfort level right now, because I know we're all in a different space and place right now. Anything else that you wanted for that? About any questions? And then we have some other things. It's a lot of other work at home and work on your own opportunities, but they require going out and being in the public. And right now, based on social distancing, I did not want to mention those. However, you can get more information in my ebook, Making Money Out the Box. One of them, though, another thing you might want to look at, though, are surveys online and focus groups online. So surveys online and focus groups online.
Yeah, the focus groups and the online focus groups and the surveys are really good. You can make $100, $200, or $75 or whatever, but every little bit counts to be paid for your time. So that is awesome. So great job with sharing some coping skills for parents and those P's. I always say you got a P, right? So those P's that you shared with us for families, as well as some work at home strategies and different websites that are out there as well. So if you missed those, make sure you watch the replay. Share this with as many parentpreneurs as you can, and make sure you connect with Teresa. Go to her website, go to twjme.com, and learn more about her and her resources and her solutions that she has out there, or become a partner of mombizboss.com. As a matter of fact, I just want to let you know, I love your websites.
Anyway, I did have one other thing. First, my Mom Biz Boss is mombizboss.org. You love my website, and twjme.com. But I wanted to say one other thing. Please make sure that you're protecting yourself from not getting too burnt out virtually. Make sure that you are protecting yourself from not getting too burnt out virtually, just like you would in your regular everyday life. When I talk to entrepreneurs, dualpreneurs, I always talk to them about having like a networking schedule. It's time to schedule yourself too. The other day, last night, I had an event for my Mom Biz Bosses, and I had one of my Mom Biz Bosses and myself where we had to be to several different virtual events. That's just too much. Make sure that you're prioritizing, again, what's important, what works for you, because you're in business to make money, right? And 90% of your time of your business needs to be focused on money generating things. So even if you're doing a Zoom and you're going to a Zoom, come for information like Gloria did, Keisha did, whomever else is listening to this, about how to make some money. That was a great idea, or how to prioritize, right? Make sure you're doing that. And then the other thing I want to say, 90% of your personal time right now should be spent on you or your family. We are in different times. We don't know what they may be or what may happen. So prioritize your time. Don't get virtually burned out. You don't need to be on everything. Everything is not for you. And that will tie back into parenting. It will tie back into money making and caring for yourself. Because like I said, I'm a mom first, a multiple operational manager, and I want to make sure that we're well-rounded, making money, taking care of ourselves, and helping others.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. Again, how can people follow you, connect with you, even on social media, and tell your beautiful websites again?
Why do you like my website so much? But
I'll
okay.
tell you in a minute.
So social media, you can find me at TW, that's T as in Tom, W as in water, J as in Johnson, M-E, like the word me, TWJME. Or you can check us out at Mom Biz Boss. And Mom Biz Boss is an organization for moms that are in business. We focus on parent-centered activities, children activities and causes, business women that are moms or women that support moms that are in business or children, and social awareness. And we're at mombizboss.org, but you can check us out social media, Mom, MOMBIZBOSS. And that's how you contact me.
Beautiful. Thank you again for joining
Thank
us
you.
for those great parentpreneur coping skills and some work at home opportunities and tips. They were absolutely fabulous. I really appreciate you.
And I appreciate you too. Thank you so much for having me.